So lastly here, we got explosive claims by Marco Rubio in relation to David Grush's whistleblowing on the UAP UFO phenomenon that has been reported by lots of different people for many, many years now in this country. And it's really going to shed light on just how crazy it is that we have people so high up in the government that are coming forward and saying, no, this isn't a bunch of crazy sci-fi stuff. This is in fact a real thing that real people are coming forward and testifying about. So let's get into the article here. Congress doubles down on explosive claims of illegal UFO retrieval programs. Asked June 26th about allegations of secret UFO retrieval and reverse engineering programs, Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chairman Marco Rubio made several stunning statements. In an exclusive interview, Rubio told News Nation Washington correspondent Joe Cahill that multiple individuals with very high clearances and high positions within our government have come forward to share firsthand UFO-related claims beyond the realm of what the Senate Intelligence Committee has ever dealt with. I'm just gonna read this one more time, just to drive the point home. Marco Rubio is saying that multiple individuals with very high clearances and high positions within our government have come forward to share firsthand UFO-related claims beyond the realm of what the Senate Intelligence Committee has ever dealt with. Rubio's comments provide context for a bipartisanship provision adopted unanimously by the Senate Intelligence Committee, which would immediately halt funding for any secret government or contractor efforts to retrieve and reverse engineer craft of non-Earth or exotic origin. The extraordinary language added to the Senate version of the Intelligence Authorization Bill mirrors and adds significant credibility to a whistleblower's recent stunning allegations that a clandestine, decades-long effort to recover, analyze, and exploit objects of non-human origin has been operating illegally without congressional oversight. Additionally, the bill instructs individuals with knowledge of such activities to disclose all relevant information and grants legal immunity if the information is reported appropriately, within a defined time frame. Moreover, nearly 20 pages of the legislation appear to directly address recent events by enhancing a raft of legal protections for whistleblowers, while also permitting such individuals to contact Congress directly. What's going on here? Why are all these high-level officials coming out of the woodwork and saying that this is all not craziness? That this is somewhat... that they're introducing legislation to allow other whistleblowers to come forward and say what they know. If Grush was just lying about what he was saying about how the U.S. has a secret crash retrieval program, why would all these lawmakers, and specifically Marco Rubio, need to be coming out of the woodwork to voice that we should have more lenient laws in terms of people whistleblowing on the UAP phenomenon? Something weird is going on here, guys. Something really weird. Researcher and congressional expert Douglas Johnson first reported on and analyzed the remarkable bill language, which, if it passes the House, could become law this calendar year. Beyond the Senate Intelligence Committee, the powerful investigative body that oversees the nation's intelligence agencies found the aforementioned whistleblower allegations that secret UFO-related programs are illegally withheld from Congress to be credible and urgent. Moreover, according to two reports, multiple military intelligence and contractor officials corroborated claims that the U.S. government or private companies possess multiple craft of possible non-human origin. Importantly, this intelligence bill is not the first instance of Congress addressing the possible existence of surreptitious, I'm not sure what that word is, UFO retrieval and reverse engineering programs. The 2023 National Defense Authorization Act, signed into law by President Joe Biden last December, established robust whistleblower protections for individuals with knowledge of secret UFO programs engaged in material retrieval, material analysis, reverse engineering, research, and development. But the Senate Intelligence Committee's legislation goes significantly further than previous laws. If enacted as drafted, the legislation would immediately halt funding for any secret, unreported programs that engage in analyzing retrieved UFOs for the purpose of determining properties, material consumption, method of manufacture, origin, characteristics, usage and application, performance, operational modalities, or reverse engineering of such craft or component technology. At the same time, the legislation would cease funding for any personnel engaged in capturing, recovering, and securing UFOs or pieces and components of such craft. Funding would also be cut for the development of propulsion technology or aerospace craft that uses propulsion technology systems or subsystems that is based on or derived from or inspired by inception, analysis, or reverse engineering of recorded UFOs or materials. Oh my God. So basically what my takeaway from this is if Grush is just lying, if Grush is just misled, if this UFO, UAP crash retrieval program is just a bunch of nonsense and it's a bunch of people going crazy with their imagination, or it's just a bunch of, or it's some kind of psyops campaign to cover up some other government program or to distract from some other military secret or a program being ran by one of our foreign adversaries, why is there a need for why is the language so specific in this potential law? Why is it so specifically allowing more and more whistleblowers to come forward, and including protections that allow for people to come forward and whistleblow about what they know about crash retrieval programs or reverse engineering of non-human origin craft? You know what I mean? They would be coming out and saying, this is all just a bunch of nonsense and we don't know anything about any of this and this is crazy. But just the fact that that's not what they're saying adds credence to Grush's claims of a secret U.S. crash retrieval program existing. Perhaps more importantly, the bill language prohibits legal prosecution of individuals with knowledge of surreptitious retrieval and reverse engineering of non-human craft. To avoid legal jeopardy, such individuals would have 2 months after passage of the legislation to inform the director of the Pentagon's new UFO Analysis Office of the existence of relevant UFO-related information. It's like, it's almost as if the lawmakers haven't been let in on the secret themselves, and they're confused and wondering what the heck's going on, just like everybody else is. And the reason that would be the reason that they are making these laws to be as specifically worded as they are is to extract as much unknown information and to embolden people who may not be wanting to come forward for one reason or another. It's giving them the green light and a legal mechanism to extract as much information as we can out of these specific individuals that hold such knowledge. So the fact that these bills are being introduced, this is some weird shit, guys. Importantly, the Senate Intelligence Committee's legislation contains a sense of Congress provision. Such resolutions typically convey a particular message from either the White House or the Senate, as in this case, from Congress as a whole. The sense of Congress is that any illegally held... the sense of Congress is that any illegally hidden craft of non-Earth or exotic origin must be brought out of the shadows for broader scientific and industrial analysis. In particular, the goal of the legislation is to avoid technology stovepipes, a reference to the non-sharing of information due to excessive secrecy and compartmentalization. and to integrate any recovered exotic technology into the nation's broader industrial base. The sense of Congress provision aligns closely with concerns expressed by multiple officials that extraordinary secrecy prevents the robust scientific analysis required to make sense of the advanced non-human craft allegedly retrieved in the recent decades. What they're saying is, why not unleash the full brain power of America and the world's best scientists to all study and figure out what the heck is going on here? And that if we keep it secret to just a few people, we're not going to be figuring out the truth and how to maybe reverse engineer this technology as quickly as we would if the knowledge was made public. Think of the 2020 pandemic, okay, and how quickly the world developed vaccines. Is a miracle how quickly vaccines were developed. And it's because every top scientist in the world, all of their brain power was all being contributed to one vaccine. And that's how it got done. It was collaboration of the top scientists in the world, and there wasn't any secrets or information being withheld from one another. So leading to this argument of, you know, the sense of Congress anyways, you know, why they would be wanting for whistleblowers to come forward with information that they have, whatever it is that they know. Of note, there are indications that at least one law enforcement entity is engaged in a sweeping investigation of the U.S. government's handling of UFOs. Freedom of Information Act requests are one of the few pathways through which private citizens can obtain government information on UFOs. Official documents and other data released by FOIA are frequently redacted to prevent the release of classified information. Importantly, each redaction must be grounded in a legal justification for why the relevant information is withheld. Recently, the U.S. government denied in full 5 FOIA requests encompassing a broad range of UFO-related topics. In a striking departure from previous practice, the government denied the requests on the grounds that the release of the information may interfere with enforcement proceedings and law enforcement investigations or prosecutions. The available of such novel, excuse me, the application of such novel justifications for withholding government UFO information is circumstantial evidence that a law enforcement entity, such as the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General, is engaged in a broad and possibly criminal investigation of the U.S.'s government's involvement with UFOs. After all, what government oversight body explicitly charged with preventing unlawful activities would fail to initiate a sweeping investigation of extraordinary and seemingly credible investigations of illegality? Yeah, so, wow. Some really, really crazy stuff here. I'm going to venture out on a limb and say that this issue of UFOs and UAPs, there's been more progress on this in the last 30 days than the last 80 years combined. And the fact that we keep having more revelations coming out and the story is not just going away, and we have more and more revelations coming out and lawmakers popping up out of the woodwork to say, yeah, this is credible. Yeah, we're going to look into this. Yeah, we're going to implement laws that are going to allow whistleblowers to have more legal protections and not be fearful of being prosecuted or, ostracized by coming forward with this information. This tells me that there is going to be more stuff coming out about this. And where is this all leading? Is this all leading to the greatest revelation in the history of our species, that humanity is in fact not alone in the universe in terms of being intelligent, conscious life? Wow, this could be a story for the ages. And the fact that we keep having more and more information coming out is really, really intriguing. I'm a follow the information guy. I've been skeptical of that alien species or what have you could travel the vast distances of space to come here. And why would they come here if they could get the resources on Earth much easier on a planet that was closer to them? Okay, I've always been very skeptical and a follow the evidence guy when it comes to this stuff. And the evidence, if you follow the evidence, what the evidence is showing is that there is something going on here that is really weird. And why would all these people lie is another thing that I'm thinking about. Why would Rubio lie about people coming forward to him that have whistleblown about the same things that David Grush has whistleblown about? What would he gain from that politically? This isn't an issue that is scoring you a bunch of political points with one side or the other. And in fact, you could argue that you have nothing to gain by talking about this. That could be why so many politicians are simply mum about the issue. But yeah, if we're taking this article and at face value, these are some just crazy stuff in here, guys. And I can't wait to see what follows in the coming weeks and months. And are we going to wake up one day to a different world than we were living in previously? Remains to be seen, but I'm following along right with you guys.